just wanna chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she 21, I said alright. If we gon' be grown, then speak your mind. I just wanna chill and vibe. 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 Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Turn up, gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. I started slow. Only good vibes. No, I'm serious. Let's start the show. Come on, mom. Come on, boss. Only good vibes. Turn up. Turn up.
Hey, what's good, Sippers? This is your boy Buddha, and over there's the lovely
Baby.
And we coming to you again with a live rendition of
Sipping and Conversation.
Woo! That don't ever get old. I'm gonna tell y'all something, Sippers, before I get into the normal spell. I miss y'all. But more importantly, baby, how was your day?
I told him earlier, like, it was a great day to be great. Like, I was a mover and a shaker today. You know, when I have to fill in and wear two hats, I be on it, doggone it, because I be project managing my time. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so it worked out really well. Even was able to handle some unforeseen stuff. Like, boom, and I left on time today. So I can be ready for the show. What's up? What's good, creeps and freaks?
Wow, I haven't heard that in a minute.
Hey, Tootie.
Okay.
How was your day?
Well, I mean, my two was in the same position. My superior was out of town, so I'm running the business. And overall, I'm great. Man. Just going through the things that I'm going through, the highs and the lows, man. This little break took me through an emotional roller coaster almost, you know?
Oh, yeah?
From one end to the next, man.
Dang.
But you look forward to the unknown. What's good? What's good, Antonio? Tone.
Hey,
Supreme.
Tone.
We out there. Can't wait till season 8. Whoop.
Hey, you know, we keep it going. You know what I'm saying? We don't stop.
Hey, the girls gonna get a win this next season. That's how I do know.
Hey,
that's
what it is. That's what I do.
We gonna do.
I love it. Thank y'all, man. You know, like Buddha said, we've been gone a few weeks and a lot took place. We were increasing our What Do People Say segment. So stay tuned because it's gonna be a lot more coming. We're gonna be hitting these streets, you know what I'm saying? Like getting a little bit more personal with the public. Safely though. What else?
Man, listen. Man, we did a whole lot. We got a chance to meet Big T. You got a chance to meet Tank. And she was gone about 30 minutes.
I wasn't going that long.
About 30 minutes, man. Whatever Tank, anything could happen. And he had took his shirt off too. Shit. I was all, hey, she almost fired me, y'all. I almost got fired.
Now, as much as I do like me some Tank, you know, to look at his body, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's easy on the eyes. But I'm happy at home. Yeah. So, I got my own Tank.
No, not Tank.
I got my own Tank.
Oh my, I guess.
I got a big Tank.
More like a battle calf.
I have continued to host spoken words poetry night here at Novelty, And so that's been pretty cool. I went to Mexico. We already knew about that. That was like right before we ended the season. What else? That's dirty. I'm gonna just have to go with it. Okay. It's gonna be a blind. The blind gonna be leading the half blind. But what else, man? All white party, kicks in the city. Shout out to T Glover, Soul Fest. A lot of vendors we met out there. Of which one we're gonna meet next week. You all gonna get to meet them next week. We're gonna do a little something special and different. As well as our guest tonight. I've been getting to know him just, from him participating in the spoken word, the poetry night that I host. And so it's been like, y'all don't sleep on sipping in conversations, okay?
You're right about
trying
that.
To tell y'all because, we might be seasoned and everything, but we be up to date on a lot of stuff, okay? So.
I mean, but what's the most popular thing that happened, man? Was it Will slapping, was Will slapping your
Chris
boy?
Rock.
Chris, how you feel about that?
He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
He absolutely should not have done that. I am totally against that. Like, that behavior was unacceptable. It wasn't warranted. And, but there's that. So.
Man was tired. And he's a bully. He wanted to pick on the little man, but he didn't want to pick on the big man. And some of them did far worse than keep the name out their mouth. Matter of fact, they put her name in their mouth.
Shut up. I mean,
and everything else, you dig?
I'm just saying, like, point blank, it's a way to conduct business, I feel like, as a man, and that was just not the way that I would have been anticipated it to go down on live.
Yeah, man.
That was supposed to be a rumor that he did that, but.
Man, but this is what happens. That's what happens when you live your life in the public. Things like that happen. And you got to be more professional than that. But again, we are only human. So for that, I forgive him.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I know he was at his breaking point, and that was just unfortunately the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. Is that how they say it?
Yeah. The next time I need you to be a little more proactive.
Who?
Will.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying? Don't start there. Don't start your thing there. And be ready all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he might have been ready to be ready. It just, like I say, this might have just been the unfortunate of it all. I mean, clearly it was unfortunate.
Well, just know, if that was me, if I was Chris Rock, I'm shutting it down. The black party over.
A lot of people would have shut it down. Like,
party over. That's it.
They go the whole. You know how the screen go beep like that when it blanks out, like back in the days when the little different color thing came up because the whole network shut down.
When I'm gonna say it like this, and I ain't saying I'm gonna whoop everybody's ass, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna beat his ass so bad that a couple weeks later, they still ain't gonna be able to see him on camera. That's how it's gonna be. He's gonna lose some real money and teeth behind this.
it was definitely it was just unnecessary force. So,
but
I wish him the best.
Rock,
I still like him. I like Chris Rock.
I commend you. I commend you for being who he is. Yeah.
All of that. Yeah, TV going on standby, right? Mm-hmm. Like they gonna have to. And I'm just, just real quick, and we gonna get on. But why was security? Like, people could just watch. I mean, I know but you're supposed to go on the stage when they call your name.
Yeah, but all I know is
because it's the Oscars, so they feeling
just
like.
Just go ahead. I'd have had JR. If you don't know who JR is, he's one of the greatest commentators in wrestling ever. He has been out there. Well, Buddha done did it again. Straight off the top rope.
It would have been a sad.
That's it. It was a sad thing. But I tell you what, you can't lose. Go back. Can't lose in front of your woman, dog. Can't lose in front of your woman because
I guess that's what that was.
That's it. He ain't listen. It come down to that alone, man. You don't want to lose in front of your woman at all, because it's over with. He already lost in a couple of songs.
But listen, hello YouTube, hello Facebook, hello iTunes, Spotify, Google, and all of our audio platforms. What's popping? We are back. We're gonna have a few changes that's gonna take place in a couple of months, but for now, I mean, y'all gonna still see us because that's what we do.
Wait. Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, siblings, old siblings and new, if you look towards the bottom of your screen, you're gonna see this thing that says "Send stars." We making it to the big time.
Okay, so what the stars mean? What the stars now mean is that we've officially crossed a threshold where you can now show your support by hitting a little something, okay, and then we'll see it, and then we give you shout outs anyway. But we're encouraging you all, and we will continue to encourage you to buy them stars, because one, that y'all will be supporting us. Two, we see the appreciation, and it allows for us to continue to bring our content to you all each and every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. So, moving right along.
Yes, sir.
Tonight, as I mentioned, we have a special guest. All right, man. If I can get my thing to act right, I want y'all to hear something. But until I can get it to act right, I'm gonna bring him on, right? So here's our special guest tonight that you all get to see and fraternize with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It is the one and only poet, 1D.
What's happening, y'all?
Oh, okay. What's going on, big dog?
What's good with it?
We just out here, man, making a living, man.
I hear that.
It's you is, my brother.
How's it going?
What's up, baby, with an I, not a Y?
Okay. You know how it goes.
Already.
Oh, man. Hey, that's the plug.
Yeah, that's it right now. That's the intro.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, that is how most people greet me.
Yeah.
That's like now the thing, you know, like that's to differentiate how to say baby. You know, when you see baby with an I, you not without a Y, you know that's still baby.
Period.
I had to make it work.
Wait a minute. And it's you. It ain't to be confused with nobody else. That's you. That's exclusively yours. You understand what I'm saying? Only one.
I made that happen.
I
there
love
might be some babies with eyes out there, but not the one that's without that the baby with
not
eye, not
baby
a Y.
with the I, not the Y. You the only one.
One moment, poet. 1D. I gotta
What's
ask
up?
baby one question, man.
What's up?
What you sipping on, baby?
What you sipping on?
You know what? I'm actually sipping on water right now.
You got you some water.
I got me some water.
That's all right. Whatever
I got
you need.
Ain't nothing wrong with staying hydrated.
I got to stay hydrated. It's been one of them days. I mean, I got me some plant life over here.
Okay.
Be great.
Be great, man.
You know.
Whatever keep your stress levels at bay.
All right.
The accuracy.
Baby is drinking on a dirty vodka.
What's a dirty vodka?
When it's cloudy outside.
It's
partly cloudy.
Say less.
It's clean. I tell you.
So it's basically vodka with ginger beer, and it has agave.
Okay.
A blue agave. So that's what's giving it dirty.
The cloudy look.
That sounds good.
Made by yours truly.
I got my personal bartender.
I was just gonna say.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. So he concocted him something up with some of the scissor I got over here.
Right.
So tell him about your drink.
You know, I went with a little whiskey. I had a little ginger beer, and then I used a little peanut butter cup syrup. So I made it's kind of like a cream soda almost.
What kind of whiskey? What kind of whiskey? Johnny Walker?
Nah, I went to a little Canadian club.
Okay, I hear that.
You know what I mean? That's all good.
Shoot, that Canadian, you can't sleep on that Canadian club.
It gets you right where it needs to be.
Y'all gonna have to catch me up on it then.
Okay. Oh, we'll do.
Yes, sir. So we got you. We got
Yeah.
you here. We talked about it a few weeks back, couple months, and we got you here.
Yeah, we here.
Tell the Sippers a little bit about yourself.
Nah, he's not.
You know, I be on that humble shit. Spoken word artist based here in Orlando. I've been performing for just over 5 years. This past February made 5 years. I'm just making my rounds, man. I'm enjoying this ride. I used to rap years back, you know, a long time ago. I used to rap and stopped that. It was like a pause trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And I wound up coming back to poetry. I used to do poetry when I was a little kid, just as something to do. So I mean, I've always liked to write, and I was at a period in my life where like expression was big for me. I didn't know the things that are happening for me now. I didn't know they were gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like stuff just started clicking. It's like I tell people, it's been so much more organic of an experience than when I was doing rap. You know what I mean? And so it feels good, man. It really feels good. Like the way people are like receiving what I'm saying, you know, because I think maybe we have a tendency to think we the only ones going through what we going through, or thinking what we thinking, and you know, to be able to put it down and articulate it and spit it out in front of people, and it resonate with them, and it hit home, and like the kind of feedback and the love I got, like it's really I don't never want to lose that. Let me just say that. Like I don't never want to lose that feeling right there.
Okay. So you said you started doing the poetry open mics, spoken words, 5 years?
Yeah,
and
2017.
You were doing rap prior to that. What with that transition, was it an easy transition? Because you know, obviously rap using lyrics. So how was that?
So the transition is funny. I was just I was having this conversation with somebody the other night. I didn't want to be arrogant enough to think I could just come in. I knew enough about spoken word poetry because I have some of my OGs, even though most of them younger than me, but they far more established than I am. You know, they've been out here doing it, so I was familiar with, you know, the spoken word world, and it, you know, being done locally. But I didn't want to be arrogant enough to say, okay, well, I was good with my words when I was rapping, so I can just come in here and automatically just start performing at the highest, you know, at that same level. So when I said, okay, I want to do this, I started going on YouTube and like studying people. Like I just tapped in spoken word poetry and I just started studying people. You know what I mean? And a lot of things they were doing, I didn't know what they were doing, like competing in slams and stuff. I didn't, you know, for whoever watching that don't know, slam is a poetry competition. You got a time limit, you know, I mean, you get judged, you know, one of a couple of ways, etc. So the things that were coming up on my YouTube as I was studying, like they were like slam footage and stuff. I didn't know any, like I was that green to it, but I knew it was dope. And then it was like, okay, like I feel like I can do this, but I want to continue studying. So the transition, it was smooth. It was smooth because then once you're doing something, then it's just a matter of repetition, right?
Yeah.
So repetition, you're honing your craft, you're honing your skills. I was always told that, like no matter what I was doing, like hone your craft. You know what I mean? Everything else that you want or that you possibly can get from it is gonna come from honing it. Just focus on that. And so like I'm like really like compulsive with that kind of thing. So like if I'm being quiet, if you see me somewhere and I'm being quiet, most times I got a poem running around in my head. If I'm serious, if I'm showering or I'm putting together one, you know what I mean? I'm running a couple bars in my head, and you know, if it stick, then I either commit it to memory or I jot it down or I put it in my phone. You know what I mean? One of those. Stuff like that. Yeah.
So what do you have coming? You have anything coming up because I think you just did something. What, Monday or?
I just featured at Writers Block Orlando, downtown on North Orange Avenue. That was cool. That was my second feature for Writers Block. At the new location, it's my first time featuring, but it's my second because you know what, Writers Block was actually the first time I did it in 2019. That was my second feature that I'd ever done. My first feature will be the 23rd of this month at Essence of the Soul at Bar 5 Lounge in Ocoee. And so that was actually my first. That was actually my first feature, my first paid feature. I had done one before that, but you know, it was a little different. That was like my first real feature. So you know, this time it just flip flop. You know, I did the second one first and the first one second. This go around. So yeah, I'll be there Saturday the 23rd. Y'all need to pull up and pull up early because it fill up in there. It do fill up.
Got a couple questions. I'll slide in and help her out.
All right, go ahead and run them, Buddha.
All right. So since you've been doing this for a little while now, is there any particular time that was the most memorable for you when you was up on stage doing your thing?
Yeah. 2020. You know, when everything was hitting the fan, I got out there, you know, we were stepping. So I got out there and stepped. So we did a protest. I took part. I was fortunate enough to take part in the protest on June 6, 2020. And it was 10,000 of us in front of City Hall. And I performed a piece there that I wound up writing specifically for that event. Well, the poem would have got written anyway, because with the stuff that was going on, Floyd, you had Ahmad, you had Breonna, you had all that. 2020 was a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that poem would have gotten written anyway, but the way that everything just aligned for me in that moment, for me to be able to do that. Again, one of my poetry OGs plugged me in with the opportunity. And so this is like one of the ways you know that you're touching people is when people you look up to in terms of what they do and how they do it and their skill level. And you're like, damn, I aspire to be that fluent and that good with it. And they come and tell you something like, yo, like, don't stop doing what you're doing. You speak from the heart and it's touching people. This is a conversation I had with this gentleman, cat named Eddie Figures. You know what I mean? If anybody watching know Eddie Figures here locally, y'all need to get plugged in with Eddie when he ready to come back outside. Eddie's super dope. But you know, he told me this, you know, right before the world shut down. And then when everything hit the fan, I found out the protest was going on. And I'd already said, you know, I'm gonna be out there stepping just like everybody else because it means something to me, you know. And he hit me up and I remember he sent me the flyer. And I was like, yeah, you know, I saw that, I'm gonna be out there, you know, this is that and the other. And he was like, cool. He say, you know, I'm plugged in with the organizers and they want me to put together a crew of poets to perform at each stop along the protest route.
Nice.
So he say, like, I always told you, you speak from the heart, and you know, I mean, it touched people in a different way. So I definitely want you to be a part of it. You know me, I'm like, say less. You know what I mean? So you know, I wrote the piece relatively quickly for me because I'm real meticulous when I write. Like if I can drag it out to try to squeeze all the little perfection juice out of it, I will. You know, what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like that. I won't, because when I'm finished with it, I don't want, like, if I'm listening to rap, you know what I mean? Especially back when I was doing it, and you listen to somebody and they rhyme scheme, the song and all that, you get to the point where, damn, I would have said this right here where they said that. Like when I finish, right, I don't want you to be able to say that. I don't want you to be able to say you could have wrote my thought down better than me. Like, I'm serious. Listen, mama, if I'm gonna do something, if I'm gonna do a thing, I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna do it to death. I'm gonna try to get the most out of it. And so in this case right here, I feel like I did that, but in a much shorter fashion because I just went off pure emotion. Like the things that were going on, I can't really like describe the emotions that it brought up in me. You know what I mean? So, you know, wrote it real quick, you know, really within a matter of hours, spread out over 2 days. Like I started Tuesday evening, finished Thursday evening, and was ready to perform it on Saturday.
Hey, but that's good. That just shows the talent and the skill set where you are. You know.
Well, I'm getting like a it's getting like a bad like you sound like Charlie Brown. Sound like Charlie Brown teacher right now.
I started like, okay, wait. How do I sound to the people in the bike?
Oh, it's still Charlie Brown.
Oh Lord, I sound like Charlie Brown too.
No, you know, no, you sound like Secret Garden right now because you put your.
Well, then it's just my voice.
Oh, you good now?
I got another question.
I got you now.
I got one more question though.
All right.
So when it's all said and done, and you retire from this great thing that you're doing, and you know life is good for you, it's already good for you. What do you want the people to remember you by?
I want the people to remember me. I want the people to remember me and the way that we're connecting right now. You're getting me through my art. You know what I mean? That's one of the things like I really dig about sitting down and doing interviews and stuff, because it actually gives you a perspective, not necessarily different from the poetry, but more insightful. Like, you know what I mean? We're having a conversation instead of you just hearing the piece. But make no mistake about it, I'm still giving you my life. Yeah. It's a lot of like little intricacies and nuances about my life that are sprinkled into my poetry. Like I can't, like I'm sitting in the parking lot right now. I can't look up at these trees. Well, I can, but I don't want to. I don't want to write a poem about the hedges and the oak trees in front of me.
I got you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I will give you that real, like, and not intentionally. I just want to give you me, and it's going to connect with the people that it's meant to connect with. Like, it's like having a core fan base. You know what I mean? They going to love you no matter what. Like,
yeah.
Scarface, 8 Ball MJG, like I'm a core fan of cats like that and Outkast. So when it ain't popular to listen to or to be like them people there, they love you. You know what I mean? And I want people to remember me for giving them me. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what I want. And I don't know about that retire thing.
Well, I'm just saying, like, at some point, man, we get involved in life and stuff like that. I'm not saying you will, but we do. And then
it happens. Even to the best of us.
Trust me, listen. I ain't even gonna give y'all that backstory, but if it would have happened, it would already happen.
Look, this was, you know, we can do this all night. You know what I'm saying? I know you can do this. But what I ain't asked you in advance, but I'm gonna ask you on the spot.
I already know you
know. Drink a little water, get your throat squared away. Get your lighting, get yourself together. Because I want you to do the Dear Black Woman. Okay. All right. I got you. No worries.
Right now?
He can do this. This is what he do.
We live. We can do this. Yeah.
No, I'm good. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Y'all listen. This is Poet 1D. This brother, the first time he just came out, I went to give him the microphone. He was like, "No, I'm good. I got it." Say less. He commanded the room. How you command the room?
Vibrations.
That's him, but us. He had another way he did it. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, he told my little poem up. I said, I'm glad I went before him.
So before we get up out here, make sure y'all hitting them stars. Okay, show your love and support. How can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on IG, since that's pretty much where I live at now. You can find me on Instagram at Poet1D. Okay. And I follow back. I ain't on that arrogant or follow me, but no, I follow back. I like to be out here with the people.
Absolutely. Because the people is what gets you where you need to be.
Period. Yeah.
So, without further ado, we have Poet 1D, and I don't even know what you call it, but I call it Dear Black Woman.
It's okay, so this poem is actually titled Sincerely a Black Man.
Okay. Yeah. I remember you said that, but I was stuck on Dear Black Woman.
Okay.
Yeah, I let you run with it. I wasn't tripping. I was just glad you loved me.
You knew exactly where you were going with it.
Already.
I loved it. I loved it with all my heart. So everybody that's listening right now that will listen to this later on the audio part, on the audio streaming and everywhere.
Check it out.
Check this out, man, because this is dope, and you need to follow Poet 1D on Instagram. Take it away.
Dear Black woman, you once told me that you are the most unprotected person on God's green earth. And initially that conflicted with the so-called G in me, but that was only because it was the truth. And sometimes, well, the truth does hurt. And I'm sorry. Sorry that after years of me misbehaving, you no longer recognize the space in between my outstretched arms as a safe haven, but instead a hollow, crumbling cavern with a weak foundation from which you have made a hasty getaway because any day now you are awaiting a cave-in. And in turn, what was once a love that always smelled fresh and stayed wet enough to bathe in has become a barren desert to me, and frustration is your new favorite fragrance. And sometimes I wonder if you run out of patience with me, seeking the wrong kind of validation and placating to all of the wrong kind of people in all of the wrong kind of places. While playing you to the left, I forgot what was right for me had always been adjacent the whole damn time. I apologize. And I think I die a little bit each time that you show me a sign that perhaps you've had enough of my shit. And if ownership is the key to killing my toxic energy, then allow me to concede that I do now believe that some of my OGs lied to me. Because they said you couldn't be trusted and that you was just a hoe in a trick. They said just focus on the dollar sign and never stop to wonder why they called you a bitch. And I went along with it. And I called you a bitch. Out of one half stupidity and the other half ignorance. But please try to see that as a youth, higher learning for me came from a university where the halls were lined with marijuana trees and the roads surrounding campus were paved and bricked up coca leaves. And there, among other things, I learned how to make squares out of circles. And you swear you ain't want a hood dude, but you gotta admit, back then you were not checking for Urkel. You went through your bad boy stage and I got on my bad boy shit and just stayed long enough to inherit regressive groupthink, a job that pays a low wage and a lust for material things. And I now see the error in those ways, and I pray that I'm forgiven for years of hard living, abandoned children, infidelities, misdemeanors, felonies, and long trips to prison, and for not being around to help you fix your crown when the other folks tried to knock it down, label you as angry. They tried to make you a persona non grata, and I was wrong for forcing you to have to be strong on your own, but I still give thanks because somewhere buried deep up in your chromosomes, God placed a whole lot of asada. But tell me something, what about us? I mean, is there some other way that we can talk, perhaps somewhere that we can meet? I'll commit to start trying and quit lying, and again, I am sorry that I keep dying out here in these streets. And for being the one to pull that trigger, and for not having a vision for us that was bigger, and for asking you to choose between having a good man and settling for me just being your nigga. But that was in the past. I want to be here for you now, so if there's a chance, just tell me where I win, because all facts and no cap. I get jelly when you lend the ear to other men, especially when, as of late, some of them have been void of any melanin. At any rate, I pray it's not too late, and I leave our fate in God's hands. I hope this reaches you in love, light, peace, and prosperity. Sincerely signed, a black man.
Shout out. You okay, baby?
Look, let me tell you. When I first heard it, I was like, legit about to cry. I was like, this close. Like that had really, that was, and just then, being that I really enjoy spoken words and poetry, you know, especially when it becomes one of those really soul touching words, you start getting in the headspace, and it's just, and then looking at the world around us and what you pretty much, how you broke it down and the way you did it, it's like, damn. Y'all black men really do have it bad.
It's an interesting time. It's an interesting time. But see, like the logic and the motive for writing the piece was giving a genuine apology. It's like, okay, let me put a lot of me in there, But let me also, if I can for a minute, try to embody all of us and what I believe is the overriding thought process and thinking behind it. Like this gender war, whatever they want to call it, that we got going on between us right now, I hate it. I hate it. And I wanted to be able to write something like, listen, sincerely, I apologize. I don't offer any kind of, but you did this, so I did. I don't. Let's just make up.
Right.
Let's just make up.
Happy
Let's just
there.
make love.
That's
You understand
beautiful.
what I'm saying? Let's just right the ship, man. Like, damn, I love my people. I hate all this infighting. I love my people.
I do. I really want us to find a better way to get through these things, this place. You know, because we got bigger fish to fry, as they would say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna shift over into the actual content of the show. You're more than welcome to stick around. We're gonna go on a little quick commercial break, and then we're gonna come back tonight, giving the audience a chance to get themselves together. We're gonna be talking about what does emotional intelligence looks like.
Yeah, I believe I'm gonna lay around for this.
So we'll come right back in a few seconds. Just give it a little break, little quick. Y'all go get y'all a little drink, get your eyes cleared and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that if I was touched, so were you. We'll be right back.
Oh, this is for the simples. Yeah. We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. Yeah. We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl sipping, then bring her on through. What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl singing, then bring her on through, baby.
What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, then gon' come through. What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, come through.
What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl sipping, then bring her on through. What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl singing, then bring her on through, baby.
What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, then gon' come through. What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, come through.
We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. Yeah. We sipping in conversation.
Hey, we here now.
Reloaded.
All right, baby.
It's me.
Go ahead and bless us with a few words of technical words of emotional intelligence.
All right.
What the definition is.
Okay, so definition. All right. You can think what you want to think, but the definition is the definition. Okay?
Okay.
Now, emotional intelligence, otherwise known as emotional quotient or EQ, is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict.
Is that right?
I just needed to give y'all the actual definition so
we can continue.
You can continue. You can say what you want to say.
That's what's going to happen.
But, that is that is where it's being, emotional intelligence is most defined as the ability to perceive, use, understand, manage, and handle emotions. Let's go.
All right. We here now.
Let her rip.
Yeah. Well, let's go. So, to start me off, man, like, I thought about this topic long and hard. Because, you keep hearing the conversation happening that we need to be emotionally intelligent, or when a person does something bad, i.e. Will Smith or anything else, and it's a breakdown, in communication and emotionally you see them frustrated, they're like, well, he or she wasn't emotionally intelligent. And you say these words, but what does it look like? What does it look like to you? What does it look like to the next man, the next woman, your sister, your brother, your dad, whoever? Mm-hmm. And I felt like this was the perfect time with the perfect guest to allow this thing to go down. You know what I'm saying? Allow this thing to go down. So for me, emotional intelligence is not necessarily to do it in a positive light. It's just to understand yourself and to thyself be true and understand how to maneuver with yourself so you don't put yourself in positions to be, i.e., hurt or frustrated based on somebody else dictating the narrative.
Yeah.
That's how I would put it. Where would you go?
I mean, you know, I guess it's going to look different, obviously, for everybody. Mm-hmm. And just kind of piggybacking off the definition, which is really the truth. Mm-hmm. How you handle a situation, finding your happy balance, you know, in your alignment is going to be a big thing. Mm-hmm. If I try to mirror what someone else is doing in their relationship, and just because of what I see on the outside, but then there's turmoil on the inside, and then I'm just looking at that surface. Mm. So I come treating you the way that it looked like to me, then I'm not exercising you know, the intelligence of it with what is actually working best for you. You know, incorporating your love languages and, you know, and different things like that. So, and so I may miss the mark when it comes to you're giving me a certain vibe, and then but then instead of me gauging what did I do right, what did I do wrong, I should be really just actually using my words. Like,
I mean,
how can I do this better?
I mean, like, I'm gonna ask you this question. So, like, is there any moment in time where your actions may be in a negative, may be perceived in a negative light, but it's justified for the moment? And is that a version of using your own emotional intelligence to get your point across?
I mean, everybody's entitled, you know, clearly we know everybody's entitled, right, to feel the way they feel. Mm-hmm. Where the emotional intelligence come in is that you place discernment. You put discernment in the repercussions. You kind of assess the damage as best as possible. Now, people that are narcissistic in nature, they don't, first of all, see that they do anything wrong, number one, because they feel the way they feel, and that's the way it is, right? Generally, narcissistic behaviors, people with narcissistic traits, they don't even care for the repercussions, for how you F your feelings, because it's all about me right now. And they find ways to justify, right, the why. But if non-narcissistic type people, they generally look at how many people are going to be impacted. Are the people that's going to be impacted the people that actually should be feeling this wrath that I'm about to bring? So that's where it, you know, you could be right in what you're doing, but just because it's right, you know, just because you can do it, I should say, does it really make it right? That's just my thing. And as I get more seasoned in this lifetime, I start looking at a lot of stuff totally different than what I would have looked at that thing 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
15 years ago.
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I guess in hindsight, okay, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Okay, maybe. But to understand the whole scenario picture, meaning that if I say this and you know what's going to happen afterwards, but it needs to be said anyway, I mean, kind of like sacrificing the village, per se.
Yeah.
To prove a point, whatever the point may be, because there is no other way to prove that point in that moment. You don't see no other way around the point that needed to be proved, or you're going to continue to have this friction there.
Maybe.
I mean, if you see it this way, right? If a person sees it, well, the village needs to be sacrificed so you can move on with this.
But is it really the village, or is it an individual that is the issue?
Well,
because a lot of times, oftentimes, it's not everybody else. It is this group of people or this person.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? It's not everybody else. It's an individual, or it's a classification or a group. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a small percentage of persons. So not everybody is gonna read the consequences or be the sacrifice for the actions of one person.
So what do the people say? Can you read some of the comments? That I'm gonna come back.
No, you're fine.
I'm gonna come back to
it. You're good. The person, they just said that that was well said. That you said that well, baby. Just because you feel justified doesn't make it right.
I could challenge that if you want, but I'll let. I mean, in my mind, being right is a matter of perspective, and if it makes you feel better, then who is the most important person in the room at that moment? The end. In that case, because if you're thinking about self, maybe that's narcissistic, but at some point we all should think about self, right?
All right. So let me give y'all another technical usage of this word. There are 4 domains of intelligence, and I'm taking this strictly off of Google. Okay, so don't fight me. Okay, fight yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 domains of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So each can help a leader face any crisis with lower levels of stress, less emotional reactivity, and fewer unintended consequences.
Right.
So that being said, if you are being self-aware, you're managing your emotions, yourself, social awareness, the people outside, and then the relationships that may be impacted. This does allow, it does. So if I'm having, just me personally, if I'm having a spat or a disagreement with a person or group, I'm generally addressing accordingly. I might not necessarily address it the first time because I want to make sure that maybe it was a misunderstanding. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I give my motherfucker a chance. All right.
Oh, did you just throw a F-bomb on?
I slid real low.
I got you. No.
I slid it in there real slow, real low. So I give you a chance to make right. Okay. So now time done went on, and because I guess I didn't say nothing the first time, and you really meant what you said the first time, you actually tried it again.
Okay.
Hello.
Now you're gonna.
Who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Who? You know how that, on
I got you.
The little meme where it's who?
Yeah.
And then they pull out that thing and they're like, you tried it. Yeah.
All right, so
that part.
I got you. So what's the next comment? Right after that. Because I'm about saying.
Where we at?
No, the comment right before that.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go here first. Yes, that you can feel justified. However, if the people close to you are adversely affected by your actions, then you have problems.
Or not.
You do.
You don't.
You do.
You don't.
You do.
You don't.
They may or may not say something.
Okay,
But
so let me give
problems.
you a scenario. I'm gonna give y'all a scenario where this could be right or wrong, and however you want to feel. We are all, in some form or fashion, most of us are parents.
Okay.
Who are responsible for children.
Okay.
Who we make these decisions for, regardless if they agree with them or not.
Right.
Okay, so they may not be emotionally intelligent to know what's really going on, but we're doing it in their best interest, and they fighting you out every step of the way.
However, I do take their feelings, and I do take certain things in consideration prior to making an executive decision.
Well, executive decision is executive decision.
I'm just saying, if they're just not wanting to do it because they just don't want to do
your point as a parent with your child, you're going to go to extreme measures in certain aspects. Maybe not you, but you may be the exception to the rule. Some other parents are going to go to extreme measures in order to get their point across to their child. Now,
siblings.
So now,
put that in your comment. Put that in the comment, whether you listening now or later. For the audio platform, you also have the opportunity to leave a comment. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want them to put their comments in there, especially those that's going to be watching this on YouTube. Make sure you drop your comments below, because your thoughts and opinion is extremely important, and it is not omitted. Okay?
Now,
let's go.
To take what I did, to take that scenario, which is almost doing the same things as a narcissist would do by doing and proving their point, and other people's emotions are affected, and you're saying this is selfish. I'm showing you a way where it may not be selfish only because they're not intelligent to know to see their nose from their face. So you're doing something to protect them in certain aspects, and you're going above and beyond it to prove your point. They're taking it the wrong way because emotionally it affected them in that way. And then years and years later, you get that, you know what, Mom and Dad, I'm glad you did this.
Yeah, of course.
But then in that moment, we're talking about that moment. They're not feeling the love.
Right.
And then,
I get it.
I've
had to make rough decisions. But for me personally, I was a teenage parent, so I was still learning the ways of the world as a just being an individual. More or less, I gotta be doing this times two for a small person.
Well, I hate to use Bill Cosby. Yeah, I'm gonna use it. I had to use Bill Cosby, but the Cosby Show was a prime example of what I'm talking about. He chastised his kid, and he said two things: I brought you in this world, I take you out, and because I'm a parent, you're gonna do what I say, because I say so. Now, all those things that were every parent stood in agreement. Yeah.
But let me tell you, what you're saying, I'm not saying it's not right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. All right. However, I know, and many of our viewers know, that much of our foundation came from our parents, from what was passed on to them, which was necessary at those times, right? So as we evolve, we're going to be taking foundations from one generation to the next. Are we truly going to stick by what took place with our grandparents in our today's time?
We should.
You can take fragments, but you cannot parent how your grandparents did, because many of them, well, not me, because I know I'm a grandparent, but fortunately, my children, they had it good. Okay, but I'm just saying, like our elders. Okay.
Well, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say this to the point, because
there was a lot of them living in slavery.
let me live my case though.
Go for it.
You know, one would say that we're living in a chaotic time where you could say and do the things you want to do without no real justification, no real punishment or backlash from it. You can just say you can be internet thugs. You can be all the things you want to be, but you're not truly is. Right?
Right.
That's one way of looking at it. Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Social media chaos. And another thing is, again, you don't have to be accountable for your actions.
Right.
Today. But back then you had to. You know what I'm saying? A lot of disrespectful stuff that's going on now wasn't happening as much. I didn't say it didn't happen.
Right.
It wasn't happening as much because you got your ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
You knew how to.
I do believe there's some form of punishment needs to take place now.
But you can't. You wanna have your cake on. You wanna eat on both sides of the fence. You wanna eat this good cake of this year or this time, but then you want to eat the collard greens from back in the day.
Why can't I have both?
Well, why can't you have both?
Why can't I have a hybrid parenting?
Well, you could. You could.
Why can't I be a parent that have,
but hey,
old school values with a new school flair? Why I can't have it all?
Well, because
that's what evolution is for.
But then it sends these mixed messages.
No, it don't.
Oh, yes, it does.
No, that's a matter of perspective. Because I mean what I said. I still have expectations, which that's just general principalities of being a parent and being a child, right? Mm-hmm. However, I will consider how you feel. However, because we are being more effective in our communication,
right? I'm
already grooming you to understand that although I understand how I'm empathizing, I am going to make the best executive decision for your well-being.
Understood.
In this moment in time. Right. And if it needs to be adjusted, we will adjust accordingly.
So now I'm gonna give you a prime example of what I'm talking about.
Lay it on me.
Sincerely, a black man. Oh, you see how I went on that? A man came out. He dropped a straight banger on Sipping the Conversation on tonight, right? Mm-hmm. And he's apologizing to his black woman. Why? Because we are at odds. Now, how did these at odds get here?
He was listening to what he was taught. He should have listened but acclimated accordingly.
No.
Listen to what the man said now.
No, I'm listening to what he said, but he's talking about the fight between man and woman, and he's apologized because he actually said more after the poem.
The poem, the basis, the premise
of that poem. Can I finish my point? Because he elaborated after the point. He said, "I'm tired of this gender war between man and woman." Correct?
Right,
he
but
said
that was just in addition to. But that wasn't the premise for his poem.
Now, how did we get here? We got here because of how society progressed along the way.
No, how he got where he at.
I said, how did we?
Well, but how? Not him personally, but how what the baseline is, what he was taught. See, that's the thing about what we've been taught.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm here for you.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But we also have to get to a point of discernment where we have to unlearn and relearn what is actually better structured for you in your moment. Yes, take the foundation, just like how you always say about going into engaging in sexual activities.
Hey.
Hey. You go. You want to start. You start with your foundational tools, and then you move the tools accordingly based on what the woman wants, right? But you started with what you can't, your tools that you had, your foundation. So same idea.
Again, yes and no. I hear you, and you're making a sound argument. But what I'm saying to you, baby, is if for example, if I've been doing it a certain way and it's protected my heart all this way, all this time, who are you to tell me how I think and feel is the wrong way?
No. I will not tell you that what you think and feel.
I mean,
I don't get into how you feel, people's feelings.
I mean,
you are entitled to feel the way you feel.
Even
but
though
the reality is this: are you operating exclusively out of feelings, or are we actually bringing facts?
I'm operating out of the necessity of my own life and how I lived it to this point that proved to be valuable to me.
Right.
Or you.
That's where the emotional intelligence come into play.
Well, I mean, it's emotional intelligence. You are understanding yourself.
But you know when to insert it. You know when to express it. There's the discernment to differentiate when it is necessary to embed.
You're right. So you are
discerning.
So you are discerning in certain aspect to sacrifice the village because of the greater need of what's needed. For
your personal gain.
Oh no.
Personal. It is a personal gain.
But hold on. Is it personal?
It is personally driven.
Hold on. Is it personal?
Who else agreed to it?
Listen to me.
Who agreed to the sacrifice?
Can I finish? Is it personal if the desired results aftermath of what happened is met and needed and continue on in a greater way?
If it is not personally driven, okay, then everybody would have been a collective in the methodology that was used to sacrifice.
You're right. I mean,
but when one person makes a goddamn decision to sacrifice a village, that is personally driven.
Is it? But if it's
damn.
we
got it. We bite. Okay, we about to leave. No worries. So I'm gonna go back to what I said. Agree or disagree? What do people say? If one person makes a decision to sacrifice a village, okay.
Can I?
Is that personally driven, or is that a collective decision? Because the outcome, the end result,
all right,
they may be like, okay, I can with. But
let me
they weren't in agreement from the beginning.
Okay, so again, I'm gonna take a great movie to make another point. Great movie. Everybody, for the most part, liked this movie from the most. Have y'all seen Avengers Endgame and Infinity War with Thanos?
Oh yeah, I did.
With the ring.
He's shaking his head. Yes. I saw it.
So he snapped his finger and half the world was gone.
And why did he do that?
Because he knew the outcome of what happened if all the people stayed on the earth.
But what if he would have communicated effectively to the masses?
They wouldn't have believed it.
Why?
Because he already
said, keyword, communicated effectively.
They did not understand, and they didn't truly understand until 2 movies later. It took the End Game, and then it took what's the last movie that just had the movie they just had with Icarus and
movies, not me.
God, what's the Icarus with Tiamat and the guy hand coming out of the water, the big hand coming out of the water. It was not Infinity.
Eternals.
Eternal. It took the Eternals.
Hey, how did I remember that?
It took the Eternals. It took the Eternals to bring it all the way back and say, God damn, Thanos was right.
Yeah, but my point
is, so the point is, if one person could see far beyond you could and make a decision, executive decision that butts up against the village, and it turns out to be better for the village in the long run, he was right.
But that makes
you right.
See, here's that. That's like that God complex.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, if you are the only one that made decisions
decisions.
Well,
But
I mean,
he gave the people a chance.
But hold on.
And
But this is
then
what happened.
he laid out the foundation, right? He gave out the foundation. He laid the gave the outline and all the bullet
Is
points.
it really?
And nobody did what they were supposed to do.
Correction.
So their sacrifices were made.
Correction, because we can go back in our own Black history if we want to. You had people who wanted to die and believe in Malcolm X, right? And how to, by any means necessary, correct? But then you got Martin Luther King over here who's saying we need to turn the other cheek and continue to pray and do the great things, and we shall overcome, and we don't have to fight and do all the great things. I'm just here to say, were those God complexes? Were those God complexes when they're making these decisions for the masses?
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
It's a God complex.
Because some people didn't get on with the fight. Some people didn't understand it right away, and they butted up against it. They're like, oh no, you're wrong. And they ain't never know it was right until it was actually right, and they had to come back and face the person again. Because I always like to do the one thing, baby. I always like to say, I told you so. I told you so.
See, that's that BS right there.
I told it because I done laid it out.
No, first of all, this your boy, okay, he been put out a whole scenario in his head like 3-4 weeks prior to coming and present it to you, and he wants you to do it in a matter of
have the version.
1 hour.
That is the version.
Just saying, he wants y'all to do it in 1 hour. He done been thinking and plotting on it in his head. He done did, you know how on the little meme where all the little.
Hold on. You can't fault me. You can't fault me for playing chess and you playing checkers.
The point I'm making is he done did a whole dissertation in his head. So then when he come to you, he wants you to do it in 1 hour.
I mean,
bruh, you done had a whole month to plot, twist, and do all the things, but you forgot that you had to get somebody to move. You need somebody to play chess with you.
That's it. But listen,
they need to understand your plan, my man. The end.
Yeah, they brought these people back, and just to realize, he was right.
So let's get into what the people say.
Okay, I'm here for that.
People are too modern to be traditional. I don't think so. I think yes and no. I won't disagree. All right. People judge all feelings, not intelligence. So, a lot of times.
I got you.
So there is no reason why you can't have both. The purpose of progression of time is using what worked in the past and improve on what didn't work.
Yeah, but guess what? I'm looking at the finished product right now, and we in chaos. So explain that one.
Just saying.
Just saying.
That's very selfish when you are dealing with other people's emotion. Okay, we got that.
That's when I started talking about parents.
Understood. When you are talking emotional intelligence, you aren't only focused on yourself, but how what you do will impact others.
That's what the definitions say. But intelligence is understanding. It ain't saying you have to do it. Understanding how it impacts.
If you understand something and yet you don't do it, that's ignorance.
That ain't ignorance, because you're doing you could be doing what's in the greater good
for you,
for the world, or for the village,
for you,
for the village.
From your perspective,
as a parent dealing with children, they didn't see the end game, but you did, and you did it for that reason.
We only saw what we presumed to be the better. Because,
but as parents, you did what you listen.
We don't know, because I did what I could, and I fell short a little bit, but I can't.
But the most important part is you taught these lessons, and if they didn't understand or didn't agree with what you did, you said what you said. The end. Oh, and then eventually they came back to you and was like, "I'm glad you did that."
And I don't like the end.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We gotta give it another word.
I love that word.
That's gonna get you effed up, sir. You telling a half version of the MCU. What's the MCU?
Marvel.
Marvel Comic University. Thanos, Uverse, sorry.
Yep, I'm not telling half truth.
Thanos was, please, G. Wilkers, we're not going to do this. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. Woo! Hey, Miss Sheila, good to see you, girl. We bite. Okay, he gave them demands and understanding wasn't included.
Yep. We're talking about Thanos again.
Okay, actually, you need chaos to find peace. Peace and chaos work hand in hand. It don't mean you can't have both. Well, we in it right now.
And it's terrible. It's terrible. Hey, if it wasn't for that, we got people like you know what I'm saying? Chakras and you know, we got this
bubble head. Like right now, like let's just say I really wish I had the girl. I ain't gonna talk about it because I do want to talk about it just briefly, but I want to make sure I have the information correctly.
Okay.
When I do, but just in brief, the basketball lady, the semi-pro basketball lady that is in prison in Ukraine, no, Russia. She in Russia.
She ain't semi-pro. Brittany Griner was one of the top.
I just can't remember her name, and but I just said and all she had was cannabis oil in the vapes. So when I read back on that, you saying about women don't fight and things like that. At this point, the emotional intelligence of our country with the chaos and the peace, like, at what point are we going to bring peace to bring that lady back? In a chaotic time. But there's that.
I mean, I gotta ask why she was there.
She was there for whatever reason she was there, but she was trying to get up out of there when they said get up out of there, but she just so happened to have vapes with cannabis oil.
Well, hey.
And facing 10 years.
Well, you know that you know.
How did you know that was illegal? Because why would you even have it there if it was illegal?
Well, because most of the time you can't have that stuff to even get on the plane.
You can go.
Well,
somewhere they didn't give her the memo.
She had the memo. She just tried to do it her way.
Who? She ain't the only one.
I'm not saying.
I mean, we go out of the country all the time.
My point is, but you can't get mad. You can't get mad when you get caught.
She played ball over there. She was just trying to come home like everybody else because they said get up out of there.
Play ball over there.
Yeah, she plays ball over there.
No, she plays
for the WNBA as well as professional overseas. She made more money over there. So she was doing overseas.
Tenfold. But again, you always run the risk of getting caught. Just like people out there selling dope. The end.
But is it? But I don't know because I didn't look it up, and that's why I said I don't want to.
I feel sorry for her. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I feel sorry for her, but when you run the risk, you understand.
But I need to know what the memo was.
Oh, she black. That's what did it.
And
she's
also a part of the community.
Well, I mean, they should go get her.
And I'm surprised, and I don't understand why I don't hear no loud.
But she got bank, so the money ain't the problem.
I don't know why I'm not hearing any advocation going on. Because what they did for the dude that lied and said somebody had to rob him.
Oh, you talking about
Jesse.
He was wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Like the community, I need to know what the community gonna do. I'm here for the community. Okay?
So at the end of the day,
but she definitely should not. She should not still be there. And where is the WNBA? Oh, okay.
I mean,
anyway, listen,
it's tough. It's tough.
But
you gotta stand by your own. See,
I just went all off topic.
You good? You here? You there? You here?
Y'all hit them stars. I need to know about. I need to see y'all love and support because that's how y'all make Baby with an I, not a Y, feel good about herself. Okay, staying up past her bedtime on Eastern Standard Time for the people in the bike.
You're right. I mean, but at the same time, we all got to accept what we do, for good or bad.
Now, I do strongly believe that progress is in progress. Okay. And it's not an overnight thing. So I'm going to, hopefully, we will be broadcasting on the show that, yes, sir, it happened.
So I'm trying to figure out, just help me understand something. Like, we don't really say that, you know, people are gotten out for lesser when you in a whole communist country.
Playing basketball.
Don't matter.
They brought you down to play basketball. They loved you then.
Don't matter.
But they love when we.
This is a communist country. So at the end of it,
when we do the little dog and pony show.
At the end of it all, man, like I don't know.
But I'm gonna just be quiet about that.
I don't know.
I'm gonna just stay quiet about that because I don't want to get shut off.
We want to use our emotional intelligence and keep it peace. Oh man.
That's it. That's all.
That's it.
Okay.
What deep? I see him.
Listen, you back? Are you here? Are you? Can you hear? I can't hear you. I don't know if we can hear you or not. Did you want to come in on this topic real quick before we shut it down?
Yeah, I can chime in. Where we at with it?
So we were just pretty much talking. What does emotional intelligence look like to you?
Emotional intelligence to me is twofold. It's understanding and controlling your own emotions, and it's also understanding your partner's love language.
Okay.
That's pretty much what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smart. No.
I mean,
what is the contradictive one?
I'm not really contradicting. I'm saying you understand. Intelligence part is understanding.
No, it is definitely intelligence.
I mean, it's understanding. Don't mean that you got to adhere to your understanding. You could prove that point.
Yeah, but then that's willful. You know what I mean? That's
Is that what we do as parents?
You using a example.
No, I mean, but it's the most universal example.
What if they ain't never had
you can,
okay, but I'm just saying, what if you don't have no kids, so then what? So
elaborate.
That point is moot.
I mean, but you could be a boss at a job, and you gotta see. I go back to the understanding the greater good. So if one person don't understand the bigger picture and another person do, and he or she makes that decision based on the understanding that they have, and it may bucks up against the other person's idea and emotions of the whole thing, doesn't make me wrong or right, or doesn't make that other person wrong or right. But if the end game overall turns out good for the both of them, then who truly was right?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I agree with that. Sometimes we got to have the foresight to be able to tell if the decision in that case, do I burn down the village or do I try to save it? Because if it's gonna hurt the tribe more to keep the village, then that's
so
what
you're saying that.
So you're gonna make an executive decision, and you're not the king to burn the whole. If you just a person, if you a member of the tribe.
You can. The tribe can't. The tribe can't make the decision to burn the village down. The tribe can walk away.
If I'm holding the sword of omens,
right?
Get me sight beyond sight. God damn it, I'm making the decision.
That's if you the decision maker.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's all I'm saying. If you are not the sole decision maker, you cannot, you should not be sacrificing a village because your foundation that you acquired for your understanding, because nobody else agrees with you or individuals may not agree with you, does not mean burn this bitch down. Fuck it.
But
that's selfish.
Right, but do it
selfish when they do control forest fires.
Sometimes you gotta. Sometimes, listen, sometimes I think you might have to be selfish. Sometimes you might have to save yourself for the good of the village.
Yourself or the others?
Sometimes you might have to save yourself for the good of the village.
There are times.
Right.
I mean, the
Like,
creator did it.
right.
More than once.
But he gave the people a chance
Right.
to make right. Now I'm gonna give y'all these rules. I'm gonna see, but all y'all gonna F it up. So I'm gonna have to knock some of y'all off.
I'm gonna go back to the Eternals reference. Tiamat was gonna come back and destroy this whole earth. And all Thanos did was took half of the earth away, half the people away, so they could live.
Right.
They couldn't see that.
I mean, they just recreated the Revelations.
They couldn't see it. So it's like, who's right here? Thanos or the Avengers?
So, all right. So if you the king, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you seeing your kingdom in disarray up under your watch, you the king.
Mm-hmm. You're responsible.
You responsible.
Yes, then you burn it down.
You see that you get to the point like you can't fix it. It is no saving it.
Right.
Then it's actually more damage being done by you remaining right there.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to get out the
way. You to make a change. If you're the king, you are the kinship, the leadership. You are the head. You the captain of El Capitan.
Yeah, we don't say it right.
Capitan. Listen.
If that's your role and that is the designated position you have, then I understand a sacrifice being made.
Right.
But when you are equal to the people in the bike, I need all the people in the bike to come together.
So
and agree. Oh, we're gonna tie this thing up, and we're gonna start a new. We're gonna start a new town.
So I'm gonna ask this question. So since we're here, I'm gonna ask you this question. Do you think we would be where we are today if Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were still alive? Or did it take their death to get the freedom that we have today?
Well, that's the chaos and the peace.
I'm just asking.
No, I think we'll be in a different position. I think we'll be in a better position.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a maybe. You know what I mean?
I mean, but this is your opinion. This is your opinion, though.
My opinion, yes, I think we would be in a better position if they were here.
Okay.
With the way that both of them,
we'd have been in a better position if probably Malcolm X was here.
Well, I mean, you needed a yin and a yang.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
You could, when they first was bringing in gangster rap and they brought out NWA, you had Public Enemy on the other side to balance it out. It's not that they were totally opposite in their viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But their methods were different.
I get you.
You needed one. It's cool to have choices. It's cool to have choices. I think with the way we had to understand, like they was young boys. Both of them was in their 30s when they died. They were young boys. Think about that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And they was already evolving at the rate that they were evolving at.
Yeah, it was a big thing, you know.
Yeah.
Think the 60s is just last week.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna offer another side. A lot
of people still alive right now.
Right.
I'm gonna offer another side to this. Like, I get it, I understand it, but those people had to die in order for us to get where we are. Only for the standpoint is,
where are we?
Yeah, right, that's why I was
we are
last week.
You know, we are more freer now than they were then.
Well, yes.
Okay, let's get an understanding.
So how many years has been?
But then,
so it's only been like
we just
50 years.
We just in different kind of bondage right now. Yeah, there are certain ways that we are more free.
Okay.
No doubt. No argument.
Absolutely.
But we
No argument there.
but I feel like our bondage now is self-inflicted versus the unity that we had back then, regardless.
Okay. All right. So if we apply the bondage argument, self-inflicted argument to the bondage topic, and we get specific and we say crack.
Yep. We did that because we wanted to get high cheaper.
Right, but the choices for most jugs went out the window the first time they smoked. I lived next to a dude who said, I'm talking about this nigga started smoking crack when it was trendy. Like, yeah, you got to try this crack. You know what I mean? Like, it can get high like nothing. Like, he was here when it first got here.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a conversation I had not too many years back with him. And he told me this. You know what I mean? Like, he's like a crack OG. Like, he's
a crack OG.
He's crack OG. You know what I mean? Jug OG. Like, he didn't choose to spend 30 years. He chose to get high that one time. So that's what a self-inflicted part, any addict of anything, you know what I mean? People say it's a choice. Okay, you got to choose to get off of it, but it is not easy. It turns into a thing in itself where okay, I can't just say I don't want to smoke today because I have this thing in my body that is compelling me to do it without even thinking about what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's like, are you saying like self-inflicted? Some of our wounds, yes, as our community goes, some of our wounds are definitely self-inflicted.
We chose to, I mean, in that situation, not saying I know this particular, the guy you're talking about, but in that idea of, I mean, just in the dope game itself, you know, cocaine was expensive. So now you want to get high for a cheaper price.
You chose,
You chose that cheaper price, and it came with some things you just didn't understand was going to happen to you in the end.
Right.
But you made a cognizant choice to get high.
Yeah, but you didn't choose. Yeah, but you didn't choose to be an addict. You chose to get high.
I mean, just like we talked about Brittany Griner just a few minutes ago.
I
mean, if you had the sight beyond sight, maybe you might not have did it. But if you're gonna run the risk, you got to accept the reward and the bad part about it. You feel me?
I mean, that come with the game, yeah.
That come with the game. So, I mean, it's others like DMX who got tricked into smoking crack because they put it in the weed, and that comes from trusting motherfuckers you think you know and you don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's all different walks of life of how you got to that point to become a crack addict. Some people was forced in it because they wanted to make that sale, and they knew I needed that one more jug so I can continue to get that constant buy. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard, but I understand what you're saying.
So where's the emotional intelligence with that?
Emotional intelligence was you already knew getting high might not have been in your best interest.
But did you know that?
But is that emotional intelligence though?
Well, because you were trying to escape the reality of the situation for what it is.
Not necessarily. I mean, let's just say hypothetically, I want to go and smoke a joint.
What is that for?
Right.
What are you doing?
Because I want to just chill out. I just want to chill. You want to
take yourself to an altered state.
Chill. I just want to chill. I want to, I want
to
be in a chill state.
So were you not chilled before then?
Maybe I would. Who knows?
I
don't know anything. But I'm just saying.
But you're making a point.
No, but what I'm saying is,
taking yourself from a different space that you didn't want to be at to go somewhere else.
Right, but it's just the same way as drinking alcohol or
it
go
helps
gambling or
all
go shopping.
It's helping you deal with your reality.
It's taking you from your reality.
It's helping you deal with your reality.
I mean, maybe not. I'm just saying it's just a way to chill. All right. So now I don't know.
Are you trying to enforce the chill narrative?
So it's a downer. It's a chiller. It make you chill. Okay. Some people actually take it for pain purposes.
I get you.
I'm just saying. So I'm just using that as an example.
But it still alters the reality because they don't want to deal.
It's not about altering the reality, it also alters pain relief.
Which is their reality.
That ain't reality. It's the reality. That ain't no.
What kind of what kind of
Deal
pain
with
you
it.
talking about?
Huh?
What kind of pain you talking about?
It
I'm
could
just
be
saying, like
emotional.
cancer patients.
It could be emotional, physical, but you
So
alter the
instead of
reality so you
taking
can deal
a
with it.
pill, they're giving you the medicinal purposes for medicinal purposes. You know what I'm saying? You're in consuming that for medicinal purposes.
But it doesn't change the fact, baby. That's what I'm saying.
It takes away the pain.
It's altering
It
the
ain't
reality.
altering my mind.
It's
It's taking the pain away.
So
That's altering your mind too.
So the pain.
Yeah, maybe it
But
is, but
What
so
I
the
mean, that's
pain
your
is the
brain is where your
reality.
pain
You're trying to
receptors and
take
all
that
that is.
reality away. That's all I'm saying.
I said it again.
Your brain is where your pain receptors and all that is, right?
I reckon it is.
Like that's your brain is gonna tell you this hurts. You feel me?
Shit,
Like
my body telling me it hurt. I know it's coming from. I mean, no, but from an emotional intelligence, because I want to keep it in alignment. From an emotional intelligence, if I had to choose, obviously, between the big pharma and let's just say hypothetically, consuming the earth for medicinal purposes and so forth, I'm going to go with that over big pharma, unfortunately. Why? Because it's not going to be in giving my body more stressors than anything. It's probably going to help me eat, because you get the munchies.
right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go night. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make me stay hydrated because you're gonna want to have something. You're gonna want to drink a lot of water.
Right.
So it's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of other perks that could come along with it versus that. But emotionally, my emotional intelligence is giving me the discernment to choose a better vice. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's emotional though.
I'm just saying, like, if
I don't think that's
if I'm gonna be thinking about what society thinks, or what how's this impacting someone, impacting others.
But
is it impacting others?
You rationalizing that.
Yeah.
But that's emotionally. I want to know how I'm rationalizing the impact. How are they gonna perceive me?
I understand that.
I'm being aware of it.
It's no differently than a sex addiction. You know what I'm saying? No differently. You're doing something to alter the feeling that you're trying to escape from. There's a
I got you.
There's more than one way to skin that cat.
True that. True that.
That was all right. How you feel about that one? How you feel about that part? This part of the show. I don't want to call you government name.
1D.
Yeah.
1D.
You know what? It bugged me out. Like I run into people and they be like, "Hey, what's up, Port 1D?" I be like, "Dog, just call me 1D." But you need to call me by my real name. It don't even matter. Just don't put the title on it like that. Just holler at me. You know what I mean?
I try, because sometimes it's better to just address the person as they are.
Right.
You're the only one to put the disclaimer out there about your government name and all that. I ain't gonna be the one. They ain't gonna say baby with an I. Not a Y said that.
I got you.
Yeah, no, I like this. I like this.
So cool. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend.
Absolutely.
Hey man.
Hey man, say man.
Hey, did you think about what we talked about? About that idea for your poem?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I have been doing some thinking on that. I like that.
Just hit me up and let me know. We gonna go in the lab.
All right. I'm gonna write it, and then we can go from there.
All right.
Okay. So listen, tonight, ladies and gentlemen of the Sipping and Conversations crew. First of all, this is our first night back.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty dope.
Right.
What say ye, old great Buddha?
I didn't cuss.
You done well.
I ain't talking about sex.
I brought it.
Woo!
Imagine that. As an example. If you didn't get a chance to hear it, you can just once this is posted, you can just hit rewind, get midway around maybe 20-25 minutes on the segment. And you'll be able to hear
The poem.
the poem. I was gonna say
That's
like
like
moment.
It's like at 40, like almost at the 36 minute mark.
All right.
36 to
I
40
think
minute mark.
did it start then or before then?
It's right there.
All right. So y'all heard what Buddha said.
Somewhere in that area.
I'm just saying, I don't know. The man spoke, and I am not.
Look,
Look,
you can time check me on that.
I just be quiet and I just sit back and let this man be great. And there's that.
That was a little emotional intelligence, right?
Listen, first of all, I'm an Aries. Oh, matter of fact, my birthday is Monday. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy early birthday.
Larica. Her birthday was yesterday.
Yeah, Larica, happy birthday to all my Aries tribe. Okay, my sister's birthday. Tomorrow is my grandbaby's birthday. Her name is 7, and she was born on the 7th. How about that? And not only that, my other grandbaby was born on the same day as me, and her name is Essence. So them my girls, all right? Then my grandboy, Sergio's birthday was on the 31st. So imagine that. I got 3 grandbabies that are Aries born. And my sister.
And then here I come.
And then here him come. And then my oldest daughter is a Taurus on the 27th. Boy,
Buddha, when your birthday, Buddha?
The 21st of April.
21st.
2-1. Which is gonna be at Novelty.
We'll talk about it again prior to, but we have a show on the 21st, Novelty 101 here in Orlando. Make sure you all get with me. Well, actually, if you go on the Sipping and Conversations event tab, there is a link that'll take you directly to where the Eventbrite information for it come out. You may be able to see Port One Deep and so many other artists that do show up. So yeah, like it's been real fun. Like this is really fun. So I just want to make sure I bring it up because by the time we come back next week, it'll already have been my birthday. So I gotta let y'all know.
Come out to see us this weekend. We might be doing something.
You know what I'm saying?
Cigar Fest coming up. Who knows?
I know. I'm hoping we can go to the Grand Bohemian.
And on top of that, just so you know, Jones High School Tiger Pride Day is Saturday. We the only ones that do it right here. Don't hate.
I'm gonna let you people be great.
I see Evans attempt to do some shit.
I'm gonna let you people do y'all historical first Afro-American thing. Let y'all do y'all thing.
So I'll be there. So if you want to see Buddha, you want to Jones.
He may do what the people say out there too. That'll be great because I don't think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just chill out because I don't do you people like that.
You do me.
I do you, but that. And I do.
All right.
Listen, it's been real. Next week, tentatively, we're not going to be here. We're going to be there. There is Scorpion's Hemp. So we'll post some information, get you hyped up about it. So we're going to be at a different location for next week's show, okay? So you all can get to meet the owner of Scorpion's Hemp. But I know they also have an event that's taking place on 420. You can get with Bottomless Conversations or Crow's Nest Promos for the ticket information. But next week she'll probably talk about it just so you can get a heads up for those that are listening that are in the Central Florida area. All right. That's how it is. That's how we go. It's been good. Like definitely don't y'all forget about those stars. This is something new for us. And we trying to make it happen so we can continue to expand. Because eventually we're not going to be live. We're going to be going on Patreon. We've been supposed to be on Patreon. So once we go, it's over. It's over for y'all. Just saying. So y'all better go ahead and get accustomed to hitting these stars so y'all can be accustomed to going over to Patreon. Because what's a few dollars? Once a month.
We out here making our living. Hey, but I appreciate you, one poet, one deep.
Absolutely. Don't hang up just yet. But when the
All right.
show ends, don't hang up.
All right.
We gotta close it out and everything. So don't hang
appreciate you,
right
man.
up.
And we got big things coming, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for
caught
having
a
me.
vibe
Thank
when I
everybody who
first met
tuned
you.
in.
I caught a vibe when I first met you, man. I want to keep putting more on and letting it grow.
My man.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. What they said about Baby. Happy birthday, Miss Baby. Thank you. Oh, I didn't know that April is the National Month of Poetry.
Yep.
Okay.
April is National Poetry Month.
That's dope. I didn't even know that. So I got to get up on my poetry game. Make sure I'll be able to announce that on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It's been real. Love y'all. Mean it. Bye.
We sipping in conversation. Sipping in conversation.
Beat me up, Scotty. Beat me up, Scotty.
Sipping in conversation.